Okay, what we want to do is set our time clock. This is your Obit 6-station timer, lawn sprinklers. Normally your dial, auto, where the green section is where you would leave this timer for basic automatic programming operation. So as we go through, we're going to spin the dial, clockwise or counterclockwise, it doesn't matter, but we'll go to set clock. Set clock will line up with this dash right here. That's the mode that you're going to be adjusting. So right now we want to set our clock. We've turned it to set clock, and we go up or down with the arrows corresponding with the right time of day that it is now. We can go up or down. So right now it is 11, it's actually 10:49. So there's what we do. We're good to go, 10:49. Now we go to the next operation, which is the year, month, and date. I don't know if you can see it, but this little Y is blinking. That means the year. So we can adjust that now by up or down. So we go to 2016. Once we get that in, we push the forward advance button. You could go the back advance button to go back to year, but we're going to go forward either way, forward or backwards. The month, it is the 7th month, July. There you go. We go to the advance button, and now the day. And the date is the 12th. So we want to find 12. And that's really all there is to setting the time and the date. So the timer knows what time it is right now. So it's oriented, it knows what date, what day, what time it is. Now the next thing we're going to do is set the start time. This start time is when your lawn sprinkler starts its operation. Normally you would have one or more stations. A station is a group of sprinkler heads that will run at one time. So you can start up to 4 times per day, but one start time will operate all starting sequence. So once this timer says I want to start at 4 a.m., it starts and then it runs through all 6 stations and turns itself off. You don't have to program a separate start time for each station. That's important. So one start time starts at once a day. If you have 2 start times, it will come on twice a day. So let's say you wanted to water your whole lawn in the morning and the afternoon, you would have 2 start times. And there are up to 4 start times here. For most people with existing lawns, once a day is enough, 1 start time. So there again, start time, we go up. And my standard start time is usually 4 a.m. So depending on how many stations you have total, you want to be through with all of your watering before 10 o'clock. In our county, it's illegal to water from 10 till 4. So you want to make sure that you're done with all of your watering by 10 a.m. So if you had 6 stations and each one of them watered for 30 minutes apiece, that would be 3 total hours. So 4, 5, 6, 7. My sprinklers will be done by 7 a.m., which would be in compliance with the water restrictions. But if you had more than 6 stations, you would want to work from 10 o'clock back to where you're not watering your last station at beyond 10 o'clock. So I've set that for 4 a.m. start time number 1. Now I'm good to go. I'll just turn the dial to run time. Now runtime is how long each station, which is a group of sprinkler heads, will run once it has started its sequence. Let's say 30 minutes. So I'm going to put 30 minutes in there. That's station number 1. I hit the advance button and I've got station number 2. I'm going to put 30 minutes in there. I can adjust that by going down to 29, 30, 31, up and down arrows. If I want to adjust number 1, I can go back with the backward advance and I can adjust number 1 to 30, 30, whatever. 2, now 3, we'll put 30 minutes, and so on and so forth until you get all of your stations with the correct run time that you want. These will be different usually, because if we have different conditions, you may want to water station number 1, which is the front flower beds, for 15 minutes. Then you may want to water number 2 station, which is the front lawn area that gets a lot of sun. Well, you might want to water it for an hour. So we can adjust each station or zone, they're the same thing, group of sprinkler heads, independently. So 1 through 6, we adjust all those. Now we go to how often. How often means how many days do you want to water? There's several different settings here. I can water by days of the week, which usually are required under water restrictions. You've got 2 days a week based on your odd or even addresses. You find that day of the week. It'll be blinking, if you can see that on the bottom row. Sunday is blinking. If that is your day that you want to water, you hit the plus arrow and there will be a square around Sunday. If you don't want Sunday to water, you back up and you hit the minus sign and there is not a square around Sunday. Let's say you want Monday to water, hit the plus sign and there's a square around Monday. If you don't want Monday to water, you back up, it's blinking, and you hit a minus sign. So there's how you pick what days of the week that you want to water. So let's say you don't care about the days of the week and you just want to water every 3rd day. We're not worried about the days of the week. We want to go to interval. That is the INT setting on the sprinkler timer. You'll see a number setting. So you go up to 3. There's an arrow here that you can go backwards and forward, but there's a square around interval, and 3 is flashing. What that means is every 3rd day I'm going to water. I don't care if it's Sunday or Tuesday, it's just every 3rd day I'm going to water. So if you don't want that, you hit the minus sign. It'll take it back. And we will go back up and you can clear that. Clear is also a good feature to where you want to take information off of a program that's blinking. So we clear that and we go over to odd. Now odd is blinking. If I wanted to water every odd day, I would hit the plus sign. Or every even day, I can hit the plus sign. Now we still don't care about specifically what days we're watering. We just want to water either odd or even, interval, or by days of the week. So that's how often it is. The next feature is a nice little feature called your water budget. Some people call this the season adjust. We're at 100% now. And if you remember all of these run times, 30, 15, whatever you've set your stations to run at, when I'm in the budget mode, I can go from 100% down to 80, and I have quickly adjusted all of these run times, meaning they're going to be running 20% less than they were. So it's not 30 minutes anymore, it's 20% less than 30 minutes. Or vice versa, I go up to 120 because it's really hot and it's really dry and I don't want to change my how often setting. I just want everything to water a little more than it did. So I go up to 120. All of these run times are watering 20% more. You want to remember to turn it back to 100% and it will correctly read the run time. This next feature is your off feature, which means the system's just turned off. Won't water, but it will keep its correct time and memory. And then you go back to auto when you want the timer to be in normal operation. Some of the advanced features that this timer gives you is we have programs, program A, B, and C. Here's your program button right here. The program button will toggle between programs A, B, and C. Everything that we just put in this timer is on program A. But let's say that I had a particular station or zone or group of heads that I wanted only to water once a week, but I needed everything else to water every day because I just put some new grass in, new bushes, but that one station is out back and it's got the existing lawn, it doesn't need a lot of water. So what I would do is I would put all of that information in program B. So I'd find program B and I'd turn it to a start time, program B. I would program up or down on start time. Let's say I want to water it at 5 p.m. So I would find 5 p.m. and on my sprinkler timer for program B, once I find the 5 p.m. and then I would program it in, I'd leave it there, I'd come over here to the run time and I would find that one station, let's say station number 1, I would make sure that I had time on it, but I don't want any more time on anything else. So find station number 1 on program B, and we put a little bit of time on there. We put, let's say 30 minutes again. So once I've got 30 minutes on program 1, that's that one station we want to water independently of all the rest of them. Now I go to how often, hit program B, and I put in some days. Let's say we water it Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I've programmed Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday on program B for station number 1. The water budget, same thing, we could adjust it up or down for that one particular zone. Now, what we have to remember is on program A, we've still got some run time on program A on station number 1, so I would clear that out. So we don't want to water that station, or you may, but in this particular instance we don't want to water that station on program A because it's watering every day.
Right.
So we've taken all the run time off. And then on program B, you see station 1 has 30 minutes. And it's not going to water every day. It's going to water Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. So there's, you also have a C program. So you could do the same thing with C, but just always remember it's going to read both programs. So the most common programming errors is when people have a lot of junk in program B and program C, and the timer is reading it all and the sprinklers are just coming on crazy times. So in that case we clear everything out of B and C and go back to program A, and that usually fixes the problem. But yes, you do not want to put information in program B or program C unless you specifically understand your purpose and what you're trying to accomplish. That's the advanced features. It's a nice timer, and it'll do most of anything that you want. These come with remotes, meaning you can get up to 300 feet away and turn the timer on or off. This model has it. Other models have it. Not all models do, so it's a nice little feature if you want that. But the basic timer, your battery system is right here. This is a lithium battery. You pull this out, just like so, to change your battery. It's a round button battery. I think it's a 2032. So that holds your program when the power is unplugged. And you can hit a rain delay, which means you can program in how much of a delay you want once the system has shut itself off, 24 hours, whatever. But most of the time, your timer is right here on auto. If for any reason you want to turn this timer on, let's say you just had some herbicides put on your lawn, you needed to water them down to the root zone, you would hit manual, enter manual. That will start the sprinkler system up in its entirety, and you can walk away, go do your thing, and then all of a sudden it shuts off and it's ready for its automatic function again. There's no other buttons you have to push. So you push manual and it goes through all the stations. If you want to find a particular station that you're looking for, you can go forward with your advance or backwards, and that station will come on and the one previous will go off. So the manual operation is very important. You want to make sure you understand that, because that's going to allow you to turn the system on whenever you want. You just want to remember the key to these sprinkler systems is if you are ever trying to turn the system on manually and nothing happens, but it's counting down like it is now. Station number 3 is 30 minutes. It keeps blinking back and forth. 3 is 30 minutes. That's telling me that number 3 should be on. But if I look out in the field and number 3 is not on, most common thing is your rain control device. So the rain control device will not let this system come on at all unless you deactivate it, which is another video that we'll go into next, of how to deactivate and calibrate your rain sensing device. So there's your basic programming, and I hope you catch it. If you don't, tune back into the video, and hopefully we'll help you out.
Thank you, Wayne Nolan of Nolan Plumbing and Irrigation. Phone number 904-783-4321.